He may even identify himself with it and believe that he is what he appears to be.
Welcome to the NCE Study Guide. I created this study guide using ChatGPT and Notebook LM. So think of these modules as AI-powered audio flashcards. Each one of these 20 modules contains 10 mock questions, representing the kind of questions that you might encounter on the National Counseling exam. I created this primarily for myself, and I decided to make these available to anyone else who might benefit from this kind of study aid. But please note, while I have done my best to ensure that these modules align with NCE content, I encourage you to cross-reference them with trusted study guides and resources for the most accurate preparation. These modules are not affiliated with or endorsed by the NBCC or any official licensing board. So, with no further ado, here are your AI study buddies from Notebook LM. Enjoy.
All right, welcome back. Gearing up for the NCE, right? Well, today we're diving deep into Module 6.
Module 6, questions 51 through 60.
These were actually created, get this, by AI.
Oh, wow.
Using Notebook LM.
Really?
To pinpoint some of those tricky concepts, the ones that might trip you up on the exam.
Yeah, those are the worst. It's like having a study buddy who knows exactly where you need that extra boost.
Right. We'll break down each question, explore those tricky answer choices, make sure you're feeling good.
Confident about those core counseling concepts.
Ready to jump in.
Let's do it.
Question 51 asks, which counseling theory posits that psychological distress arises from irrational and self-defeating thoughts?
Okay, I have the choices right here.
Hit me.
A, client-centered therapy.
Okay.
B, cognitive behavioral therapy. C, rational emotive behavior therapy.
Okay.
And D, existential therapy.
All right, let's unpack these, starting with client-centered therapy.
Okay.
This approach is all about creating a supportive and empathetic environment.
Exactly, helping clients explore their feelings without judgment, so they can tap into their own resources, their potential.
Right. And while thoughts and feelings are explored, the focus is not on labeling them as irrational.
Right.
Then there's cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
CBT.
This one definitely deals with thoughts and how they influence our feelings and behaviors.
Absolutely.
Right. It does.
CBT helps clients identify and challenge those unhelpful thinking patterns that contribute to their distress, but it doesn't necessarily focus on the inherent, irrationality of those thoughts.
Okay, so what about rational emotive behavior therapy?
Ooh, REBT. I like this one.
It sounds like it might be a contender.
It definitely zeroes in on the irrationality of those thoughts as the core issue. Like, think of it this way. Someone is totally freaking out because they're stuck in traffic.
Ugh, the worst.
And they're going to be late for a meeting.
Yeah.
REBT would suggest that their intense anxiety, comes from an irrational belief like, I must never be late, and if I am, it's a catastrophe.
Those must always never kind of beliefs.
Yes.
That can lead to, so much emotional distress.
Totally.
Now, existential therapy, a bit different.
A little different, yeah.
It focuses on helping clients grapple with those big life questions, right?
Yeah.
Meaning purpose, freedom.
Death.
Yeah, the big stuff.
The heavy stuff.
While it acknowledges anxiety as part of the human experience, it's less about pinpointing specific irrational thoughts.
Right.
So to recap our question, which theory highlights those irrational, self-defeating thoughts?
As the root of psychological distress.
Exactly.
It is C, rational emotive behavior therapy.
REBT.
Yes. REBT is all about identifying and challenging those irrational beliefs that can lead us down a path of negativity and stress and just bad times.
Yeah, no one wants that.
Oh.
I think that example with the traffic jam really brings it to life.
It's a good one.
Okay, on to question 52.
All right.
This one asks, what does a genogram refer to in family counseling?
I have the choices here. A, a structured interview with family members.
Okay.
B, a visual representation of family relationships and history.
Okay.
C, a therapeutic technique to resolve family conflicts.
Gotcha.
And D, a statistical analysis of family dynamics.
Okay, so A, a structured interview.
Yeah.
That's a common way to gather information in any counseling setting?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yes, structured interviews help counselors gather information systematically, but they wouldn't be referred to as a genogram.
Okay.
Right.
So what about B, a visual representation of family relationships and history?
Now we're getting warmer. A genogram is essentially a family tree on steroids.
Ooh, like got?
It maps out not just names and dates, but also patterns of behavior, relationships, even significant life events across generations.
So we're talking those family secrets, recurring conflicts, maybe even patterns of mental health conditions.
All of that. Imagine a genogram revealing a pattern of substance abuse across several generations of a family. This insight helps the counselor understand the current client's struggles, not just as an individual issue, but potentially influenced by family history.
Right, so it's not just about the individual, it's about the whole context.
Yes.
That's fascinating.
It's like having a panoramic view of the family story.
Yeah.
It could offer so many clues about why a client might be presenting the way they are.
Absolutely. Okay, C, a therapeutic technique to resolve family conflicts.
Yeah,
That's the goal of family therapy in general.
right.
But the genogram itself isn't a specific technique.
It's more of an assessment tool.
Yeah, makes sense. And D, statistical analysis of family dynamics.
Well, statistical analysis is more about crunching numbers
Right.
than visually representing family dynamics.
Got it. So back to our question. What does a genogram refer to in family counseling?
The answer is B, a visual representation of family relationships and history.
It paints that picture.
The powerful tool for understanding the context of a client's family dynamics.
Absolutely got it. On to question 53. Imagine you're in a group counseling session and conflict erupts.
Oh.
Which group role is typically responsible for mediating and smoothing things over?
Oh, I like this. Okay, here are your options.
Let's hear them.
A, the blocker.
Okay.
B, the harmonizer.
All right.
C, the initiator.
Mm-hmm.
And D, the gatekeeper.
Okay, let's break these down. The
Yeah.
blocker.
Well, that sounds like someone who's, resisting the group's progress, maybe even trying to sabotage things.
Yeah, like not a team player.
No, not helpful. The blocker might be resistant to new ideas, very critical of others, or even just completely disengaged from the group process.
Not the peacemaker.
Not at all.
Not the one we want in conflict.
No.
Okay, how about the harmonizer?
Ooh, I like that. That sounds like they might be our conflict resolution hero.
Right.
You're on the right track. The harmonizer is all about maintaining group harmony. They might use humor to de-escalate tension, find common ground between conflicting members, or just remind the group of their shared goals.
Yeah, so they're like the glue that holds the group together.
Yes.
Making sure everyone feels heard and respected, even when there are disagreements.
Exactly.
Now, the initiator.
The initiator.
This is more about bringing new ideas, energy to the group,
Yes.
right? They might suggest new activities, propose new directions for discussion.
Oh, yeah, or come up with creative solutions.
Yeah,
Very important, but not necessarily focused on conflict resolution.
right. So important, but not our conflict resolution person. And what about the gatekeeper?
The gatekeeper is all about making sure everyone has a chance to participate.
Okay.
So they might encourage quieter members to speak up, gently redirect those who are dominating the conversation, or just make sure the discussions stay on track.
So a valuable role, but not necessarily the one we'd call when things get heated.
Not for the heat.
So back to our question. Which group role is your go-to for mediating conflict?
It is B, the harmonizer. They're the ones who step in, smooth things over, and keep that group functioning effectively.
Makes sense. On to question 54.
All right, what do we have?
How do we know if a test actually measures what it's supposed to measure?
This is a big one.
This is a biggie in counseling.
It is.
All right, what are our choices?
A, reliability.
Oh.
B, validity.
Mm-hmm.
C, standardization.
Got it.
And D, predictive power.
Okay, reliability.
I'm thinking how consistent a test is.
Right, like if you step on a scale 5 times in a row and it gives you the same weight each time,
Yep.
that scale is reliable.
You're exactly right. Reliability is all about consistency. But
Yeah.
here's the catch.
Okay.
A test can be reliable,
Hmm.
but not actually measure what it's supposed to.
Tricky?
Tricky. Think of that same scale, but it's always 10 pounds off.
Oh, no.
It's consistent, but it's inaccurate.
So it's reliable, but not valid.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's where validity comes in.
Precisely.
Validity is about making sure a test is actually measuring what it claims to measure.
It's like those online personality quizzes.
Oh, yeah, those are fun.
They might be fun, but are they really reflecting your core personality traits? That's a question of validity.
Right, like, are they actually accurate? And why is this so important in counseling?
Because we're using assessments to make really important decisions about our clients' lives.
Right.
We want to be sure we're using tools that give us accurate information. For instance, if we're using a depression inventory, we want to be confident that it's actually measuring depression and not just general sadness.
Right. It's got to be the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about standardization?
Standardization is about making sure that a test is administered and scored the same way every time,
Oh, okay.
regardless of who's giving the test or who's taking it. This helps ensure fairness and consistency.
Right. So standardization is about the process.
Yeah.
But it doesn't guarantee that the test itself is actually good.
Exactly.
Right.
And predictive power refers to a test's ability to predict future outcomes. For example, a college entrance exam might have high predictive power if it accurately predicts how well a student will perform in college.
So it's about, like, how well it predicts the future.
Exactly.
Okay, so to recap, our question is about knowing if a test actually measures what it's supposed to.
And the answer is
Drum roll, please.
B, validity.
Validity.
It's the cornerstone of meaningful assessment and counseling.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Great. Moving on to question 55.
Right.
Which of the following is an example of tertiary prevention?
Okay, here are your choices.
Hit me.
A, immunization campaigns.
Okay.
B, screening for early detection of depression.
All right.
C, rehabilitation programs for substance use disorders.
Gotcha.
And D, stress management workshops.
Okay, so with prevention, we're talking about taking steps to address potential problems
Before they escalate.
or to minimize their impact.
Exactly. And tertiary prevention is about minimizing the impact of a condition that's already present.
Okay, so A, immunization campaigns are more about preventing the onset of a disease in the first place.
Primary prevention.
Primary, got it.
Yep.
And what about B, screening for early detection of depression?
That seems like it's catching a problem in its early stages.
Right.
So maybe secondary prevention?
Secondary prevention. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, stress management workshops.
That one's tricky.
That could be any of the three, right?
It could,
Depending on the context.
depending on the context, yeah. If they're teaching coping skills before stress becomes an issue, that's primary.
Right, okay.
If they're helping people manage existing stress, that's secondary.
Mm-hmm.
But tertiary prevention is more about minimizing the impact of a problem that's already causing significant disruption.
So, for example, if someone's already been diagnosed with an anxiety disorder, a stress management workshop could be part of their overall treatment plan.
Exactly.
Okay, so it depends.
It does.
Now, what about C, rehabilitation programs for substance use disorders?
This one feels like a good fit for tertiary prevention.
Right.
The person is already struggling with addiction, and the program is designed to help them rebuild their lives and minimize those negative impacts of the addiction.
It's about helping them manage and recover from an existing condition.
Exactly.
Okay, so to recap our question, which of these is an example of tertiary prevention?
The answer is C, rehabilitation programs for substance use disorders.
They're all about helping people manage and recover.
Yes.
Awesome. Ready for a bit of statistics?
Oh boy, here we go.
Question 56 asks, which statistical measure shows how two variables are related?
I have your choices right here.
Okay, let's hear them.
A, variance.
Okay.
B, correlation coefficient.
Right.
C, standard deviation.
Gotcha.
And D, median.
All right, let's use a relatable example.
Okay, I like that.
Ice cream sales.
Ooh, ice cream.
And temperature
Okay.
on scorching hot days.
Ice cream sales soar.
Right. While on chilly days.
They plummet.
Yeah. No one wants ice cream when it's cold.
Not me.
That relation.
Where one variable tends to change in response to another.
Right.
That's called correlation.
Correlation.
Yes.
Okay, so the hotter it gets, the more ice cream people buy.
Exactly. And the statistical measure that describes the strength and direction of that relationship is called the correlation coefficient.
Oh, okay.
Sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Good.
So if ice cream sales and temperature have a strong positive correlation, it means as the temperature rises, we can expect ice cream sales to rise too.
You got it. But remember, correlation doesn't equal causation.
Oh, that's a classic.
Just because two things are related doesn't mean one causes the other. There might be other factors involved.
Always got to remember that.
Yeah, always.
So in our ice cream example, maybe it's not just the temperature driving those sales.
Right.
Maybe people are also more likely to be out and about on sunny days, and then they just buy more ice cream.
More impulse ice cream buys.
Exactly. Okay, variance.
The variance measures how spread out a set of data is.
Okay.
Think of test scores. If everyone scores about the same, the variance is low. If scores are all over the place, the variance is high.
So it's about the spread.
Spread.
Okay, and standard deviation is related to variance, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Standard deviation tells us about the average distance between each data point and the mean.
But neither of those directly tells us about the relationship between two variables.
Right, they don't.
And the median is simply the middle value.
The middle value in a set of numbers.
Okay, so to answer our question, which measure shows how two variables are related?
The answer is B, correlation coefficient.
Correlation coefficient, got it.
It helps us understand those fascinating connections between different variables.
Love it. On to question 57.
Okay.
Which concept is central to Super's theory of career development?
Here are your choices.
Okay.
A, career anchors.
Right.
B, vocational personality types.
Mm-hmm.
C, life roles and stages.
Okay.
And D, decision-making styles.
Okay, now Super's theory, this is all about how our career paths unfold.
Or our lifetimes.
Right.
Right, it's a more holistic view.
It recognizes that our careers aren't static.
Right, they change, they
Yeah.
evolve. Exactly, and it emphasizes how our careers are intertwined with the different roles we take on throughout our lives. So C, life roles and stages, seems like a promising contender.
It does.
Right.
Right, as we move through different life stages.
From student to employee.
To parent to retiree.
Yes. Our career aspirations and priorities naturally shift.
Right, and Super's theory recognizes that, right?
Oh.
It's not a straight line.
Exactly, it acknowledges that fluidity.
Okay, so A, career anchors,
Okay.
focuses on our core values and talents, but this concept is more central to Shine's theory.
Shine's theory, yes.
And B, vocational personality types,
Key part of Holland's theory.
matching your personality to a compatible career.
Right.
And D, decision-making styles.
While relevant to career development,
Sure.
more central to Crumbles' theory.
So to answer our question,
Mm-hmm.
what's at the heart of Super's theory?
The answer is C, life roles and stages.
Life roles and stages, got it.
Super's theory recognizes that our careers are woven into the fabric of our lives, evolving as we navigate different roles and transitions.
Love that. So a more human-centered view of career development.
It is.
Okay, on to question 58.
Let's do it.
Which counseling approach flips the script on traditional problem-focused therapy by focusing on the client's strengths, resources, and solutions?
All right, flipping the script. Here we go. Your choices are
Okay.
A, psychodynamic therapy,
Right.
B, gestalt therapy,
Mm-hmm.
C, solution-focused brief therapy,
Gotcha.
and D, behavioral therapy.
Okay. A, psychodynamic therapy.
All about those deep-seated unconscious conflicts from our past, right?
Right. It's definitely focused on understanding the roots of our problems.
It is.
And B, gestalt therapy.
While it emphasizes present moment awareness,
Mm-hmm.
it's still very much about exploring and working through those unresolved issues and emotional blocks.
Okay, so not exactly strengths-focused.
Okay.
What about D, behavioral therapy?
Behavioral therapy is all about identifying and modifying those maladaptive behaviors.
Right.
So while it's solution-oriented in a sense, it's still focused on addressing those problem behaviors.
Yeah, more about what's not working
Yes.
than what is.
Than solely emphasizing strength.
Okay, so that leaves us with C, solution-focused brief therapy.
I think we have a winner.
Is that our winner?
You got it.
SFBT.
SFBT, as it's often called, is all about shifting the focus from problems to solutions, from weaknesses to strengths. It helps clients tap into their own resources and resilience.
I love that. So instead of dwelling on past traumas, an SFBT therapist might ask, when was a time you felt strong and capable?
Yes. Or they might ask, what's one small step you could take this week toward a solution?
It's about finding those glimmers of hope,
Those glimmers of hope.
even amidst challenges.
Even amidst challenges, absolutely.
So refreshing.
Yeah.
So to answer our question, which therapy throws out that problem-focused approach?
The answer is C, solution-focused brief therapy.
SFBT.
It's about empowering clients to find their own solutions and build on their existing strengths.
That is such a great approach.
It is.
Okay, let's dive into the world of Freud
Okay, here we go.
with question 59.
Right.
What is the primary focus of psychoanalytic therapy?
Freud. Here are your options.
Yeah.
A, resolving unconscious conflicts.
Okay.
B, changing irrational beliefs.
All right.
C, building self-esteem.
Okay.
And D, developing coping strategies.
So psychoanalytic therapy.
All about exploring those depths of the unconscious mind.
Right. Those hidden motivations and experiences that shape who we are.
Exactly. Freud believed that those unresolved conflicts from our past, often rooted in childhood, can drive our present behaviors and emotions.
So it's like those unresolved issues are lurking beneath the surface, influencing our actions without us even realizing it.
Exactly. And the goal of psychoanalytic therapy is to bring those unconscious conflicts into conscious awareness so that we can work through them and break free from their grip.
We gotta face them.
You do.
So A, resolving unconscious conflicts.
Seems like a good fit.
Seems like a very good fit. Now B, changing irrational beliefs.
Key focus of CB.
Cognitive behavioral therapy.
And C, building self-esteem.
Very important.
But not the central focus in psychoanalytic therapy.
And D, developing coping strategies.
Important.
But not the core of psychoanalytic work.
No.
Okay, so to recap our question, what's the primary aim of psychoanalytic therapy?
The answer is A, resolving unconscious conflicts.
Resolving those unconscious conflicts.
Yes, it's about uncovering those hidden depths of the mind to understand how the past is shaping the present.
Love it. Okay, last question for this set.
Oh.
And it's a crucial one. What does it mean to be culturally competent as a counselor?
This is a big one. Here are your choices.
Okay.
A, recognizing and respecting cultural differences.
Right.
B, avoiding discussions about culture in therapy.
Okay.
C, encouraging clients to assimilate into the dominant culture. And D, focusing only on the individual's internal struggles.
This is so important in today's world.
It really is.
We need to be sensitive to each client's unique background, values, experiences.
Absolutely.
Right, and that starts with A, recognizing and respecting those differences.
It does. Acknowledging that culture shapes our worldview and influences our experiences.
So B, avoiding discussions about culture, that's out.
Oh yeah, definitely out.
In fact, it can be harmful to ignore such a fundamental part of a person's identity.
Absolutely, you can't just pretend it doesn't exist.
And C, encouraging clients to assimilate, also problematic.
Yes.
We want to empower clients to embrace their heritage, not pressure them to conform.
Exactly.
And D, focusing only on the individual's internal struggles could make us miss those systemic and cultural factors that often play a huge role.
They do.
Right.
Yes.
So to answer our question, what's the foundation of cultural competence?
It is A, recognizing and respecting cultural differences.
Custer thing.
You do. It's about creating a space where clients feel seen, heard, and understood regardless of their background.
It's not just about knowing facts about different cultures.
Yep.
It's about approaching each client with curiosity, empathy, and a willingness to learn.
A willingness to learn, I love that.
That's a great note to end on.
It is.
We've covered a lot of ground, but hopefully you're feeling more confident about tackling these tricky NCE concepts.
I know I am. It's amazing how much we can unpack in just one deep dive.
Absolutely. And remember, this is just one piece of the puzzle.
It is.
Keep practicing, keep studying, and you'll be well on your way to conquering the NCE.
You will.